नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्ति भवति नैष्टिकी। हरे कृष्णा। श्रीमद् भागवतम कैंटो फर्स्ट चैप्टर 8 prayers by Queen Kunti, shloka number 22 and 23. नमः पंकजनाभाय
नमः पंकजनाभाय
नमः पंकजमालिने
नमः पंकजमालिने
नमः पंकजनेत्राय
नमः पंकजनेत्राय
नमः ते पंकज अंग्रे।
नमः ते पंकज अंघ्रे।
यथा ऋषिकेश कलेन देवकी
यथा ऋषिकेश खलेन देवकी
कंसेन रुद्ध अतिचिरं शुचर्पिता
कंसेन रुधति अतिचीरं शुच अर्पिता।
विमोचित अहं च स आत्मजा विभो
विमोचित अहं च सह आत्मजा विभो।
त्वया एव नाथेन मुहुः विपद्गणात्।
त्वया एव नाथेन मुहुः विपद्गणात्।
नमः पंकजनाभाय
नमः पंकजनाभाय
नमः पंकजमालिने
नमः पंकजमालिने
नमः पंकजनेत्राय
नमः पंकजनेत्राय
नमः ते पंकज अंग्रये।
नमः ते पंकज अंग्रहे।
यथा ऋषिकेश कलेन देवकी
यथा ऋषिकेश खलेन देवकी
कंसेन रुद्ध अतिचिरं शुचर्पिता
कंसेन रुदत अतिचीरं शुच अर्पिता।
विमोचित अहं च सह आत्मजा विभो
विमोचित अहं च सह आत्मजा विभो।
त्वया एव नाथेन मुहुः विपद्गणात्।
त्वया एव नाथेन मुहुः विपद्गणात्।
प्लीज रीड प्रभुजी।
नमः पंकजनाभाय नमः पंकजमालिने नमः पंकजनेत्राय नमः ते पंकजांग्रहे। यथा ऋषिकेश खलेन देवकी कंसेन रुद्ध अतिचीरं शुचर्पिता विमोचित अहं च सह आत्मजा विभो। त्वया एव नाथेन मुहुः विपद्गणात्।
पूनम माता जी प्लीज रीड।
हरे कृष्ण माता जी।
हरे कृष्ण।
नमः पंकजनाभाय नमः पंकजमालिने नमः पंकजनेत्राय नमस्ते पंकज अंग्रहे। यथा ऋषिकेश खलेन देवकी कंसेन रुद्ध अतिचीरं शुच अर्पिता विमोचित आहं च सह आत्मजा विभो त्वय एव नाथेन मुहुर्विपद्गणात्।
मुहुः विपद्गणात् नमः ते पंकज आंग्रये। श्रीधर प्रभु जी प्लीज रीड।
हरे कृष्ण। नमः पंकजनाभाय नमः पंकजमालिने नमः पंकजनेत्राय नमस्ते पंकजांग्रये। यथा ऋषिकेश कलेन देवकी कंसेन रुद्धाजिरं सुधार्पिता विमोचिदागं च सहात्मा मजा विभो द्वैत द्वय द्वय द्वैव नादेन मुहुर्विपद्गणात्। हरे कृष्ण।
त्वया एव नाथेन मुहुः विपद्गणात्। कृपामयी माता जी प्लीज रीड।
नमः पंकजनाभाय नमः पंकजमालिने नमः पंकजनेत्राय नमस्ते पंकजांग्रये। यथा
नमस्ते नमस्ते नमस्ते
ऋषिकेशकाले
पंकज आंग्रये।
यथा ऋषिकेशकालेन देवकी
कंसेन रुत अतिचिरं शुचर्पिता विमोचित अहं च स आत्मजा विभो त्वया एव नाथेन मोह विपद्गणात्. Anyone wants to read? Translation and purport by the Srila Prabhupada.
बालाजी, मैं
हाँ,
बोल रही
read
हूँ।
माताजी, read.
नमो पंकजो नाभाय, नमो पंकजो भामालिने, नमो पंकजो जननेत्राय, नमस्ते पंकजो पंकज
Angrahe,
आधो अंग्राय
Angrahe.
अंग्राय যথা যথা ঋষিকেশ খলেন দেবকী কংসেন রুদধারী চিরম সুচার্পিতা বিভূতিতায়ং চ সহত্বজ্মা বিভো তৈব নাথেন মুহুর বিপদ গণাৎ।
Hare
জয় মাতাজি।
Krishna.
হরে
Translation
কৃষ্ণ।
and purport by the Srila Prabhupada. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. My respectful obeisance are unto you, O Lord, whose abdomen is marked with a depression like a lotus flower, who are always decorated with garlands of lotus flower, whose glance is as cool as the lotus, and whose feet are engraved with lotuses. O Rishikesh, Master of the senses and Lord of lords, you have released your mother Devakī, whom was long imprisoned and distressed by the envious King Kaṁsa, and me and my children from a series of constant dangers. Purport by the Srila Prabhupada, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Here are some of the specific symbolic marks on the spiritual body of the personality of Godhead, which distinguish his body from the bodies of all others. They are all special features of the body of the Lord. The Lord may appear as one of us, but he is always distinct by his specific bodily features. Srimati Kunti claims here herself unfit to see the Lord because of her being a woman. This is claimed because women, Shudras, the liberal class, and the Dvijabandhu, or the wretched descendants of the higher three classes, are unfit by intelligence to understand transcendental subject matter concerning the spiritual name, fame, attributes, forms, etc. of the Supreme Absolute Truth. Such persons, although they are unfit to enter into the spiritual affairs of the Lord, can see him as the Archa Vigraha, who descends to the material world just to distribute favor to the fallen soul, including the above mentioned women, Shudras, Dvijabandhus.
Mataji, your voice is not audible.
Not page is not turning. I am not speaking. Because such fallen souls cannot see anything beyond matter, the Lord consents to enter into each and every one of the innumerable universes as the Garbhodakshai Vishnu, who grows a lotus stem from the lotus-like depression in the center of his transcendental abdomen, and thus Brahma, the first living being in the universe, is born. Therefore, the Lord is known as Paṅkajanabi, the Paṅkajanabi Lord, except the Archa Vigraha, his transcendental form in different elements, namely a form within the mind, a form made of wood, a form made of earth, a form made of metal, a form made of jewel, a form made of paint, a form drawn on sand, etc. All such forms of the Lord are always decorated with garlands of lotus flowers, and there should be a soothing atmosphere in the temple of worship to attract the burning attention of the non-devotees always engaged in material wranglings. The meditators worship a form within the mind. Therefore, the Lord is merciful even to the women, Shudras and Dvijabandhus, provided they agree to visit the temple of worship in different forms made for them. Such temple visitors are not idolaters, as alleged by some men with a poor fund of knowledge. All the great acharyas established such temples of worship in all places, just to favor the less intelligent, and one should not pose himself as transcending the stage of temple worship, while one is actually in the category of the Shudras and the women or less. One should begin to see the Lord from his lotus feet, gradually rising to the thighs, waist, chest, and face. One should not try to look at the face of the Lord without being accustomed to seeing the lotus feet of the Lord. Srimati Kunti, because of her being the aunt of the Lord, did not begin to see the Lord from the lotus feet because the Lord might feel ashamed. And thus Kunti Devi, just to save a painful situation for the Lord, began to see the Lord just above his lotus feet, that is, from the waist of the Lord, gradually rising to the face and then down to the lotus feet. In the round, everything there is in order. Devakī, the mother of Krishna and sister of the king Kaṁsa, was put into prison along with her husband Vasudeva, because the envious king was afraid of being killed by Devakī's eighth son Kṛṣṇa. He killed all the sons of Devakī who were born before Kṛṣṇa, but Kṛṣṇa escaped the danger of child slaughter because he was transferred to the house of Nanda Maharaj, Lord Krishna's foster father. Kunti Devi, along with her children, was also saved from a series of dangers, but Kunti Devi was shown far more favor because Lord Krishna did not save the other children of Devakī, whereas he saved the children of Kunti Devi. This was done because Devaki's husband Vasudeva was living, whereas Kunti Devi was a widow and there was none to help her except Krishna. The conclusion is that Krishna endures more favor to a devotee who is in danger, a greater danger. Sometimes he puts his pure devotees in such a danger because in that condition of helplessness, the devotee becomes more attached to the Lord. The more attached is there for the Lord, the more success is there for the devotees. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Ena Tasmai Sri Gurave Nama Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Ena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guroho Sri Yuttapada Kamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavancha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sahadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Sri Vishyakanvitancha Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarine Vancha Kalpatarubhecha Krupa Sindhubhe Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Nama Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. We continue chapter 8, prayers of Queen Kunti, shloka number 22 and 23. In this shloka, Kunti Maharani praying to the Lord Krishna, who is the nephew of her, and what she told in this shloka, those points are discussing in here. Here they discuss about how we taking the darshan of Lords from foot to mouth. How we taking darshana, that described. Prabhuji will tell in detail. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So a very important shloka which Prabhupada ji says we should actually be learning and remembering this particular shloka. So Kunti Maharani ji is describing how the abdomen is marked with a depression which she compares to a lotus flower. Then she talks about his garland which is made of lotus flowers, his glans which is again as full as the lotus, and foot are again engraved with lotus. So Krishna, who is Rishikesh, the master of senses, and Krishna is the Lord of the Lords. And then she explains how Krishna always protects everyone from dangers, how he released his mother Devakī, was imprisoned and distressed by Kaṁsa, and how Kunti Maharani and her children were always protected from series of constant dangers. So for Krishna, there are some specific symbolic marks on the spiritual body which distinguish him from the bodies of others. So Lord's feet, there are three things: flag, flower, and chariot. Flag, lotus flower, and chariot. Always remember this: FLC, flag, lotus flower, chariot. They are available on the feet of the Lord. So we'll concentrate on feet today. So the Lord, when he is taking his incarnation, may appear just like one of us, but he is distinct because of his bodily features. So if today someone claims that he is an avatar of Krishna, simply ask him to show his lotus feet. Show his feet, cannot call it as lotus feet, and show these marks and engravings. Now Paṅka means mud and ja means generate. So Paṅkaja, the lotus flower, so important. Still, it is generated from mud. So Krishna likes Paṅkaj very much. So if we see lotus flower, we can immediately remember Krishna. Just like when we love our children, if we see any garment, shoes, anything, playing games, we immediately remember the child. Oh, this is my child's shoes. This is my child's playing game. This is his garment. Similarly, when we see Pankaj flower, we remember Krishna. Practically, we are not fit to see Lord. So this explanation is given by Prabhupada here that women, Shudras, that is labor class, and Dvijabandhus, the wretched descendants of the higher three classes, they are unfit by intelligence to understand transcendental subject matter, especially considering the spiritual name, fame, attributes, forms. So, but though they are unfit, still look at Krishna. He has been so merciful. We can still see him as Archa Vigraha. So he descends to the material world as Archa Vigraha to distribute favor to the fallen souls, including these people. Fallen souls cannot see anything beyond matter. And so Lord condenses into each and every one of the innumerable universes as Garbhodakshi Vishnu. And from his abdomen, a lotus stem comes up. And from that lotus-like depression of his abdomen, Brahma, the first living being, is born. And then the whole universe is created. So Paṅkajanabihi. So he accepts himself the Archa Vigraha in different elements. So you can have the Archa Vigrahas of something which can be formed in the mind, or they can be made of wood, earth, metal, jewel, paint, or they can be simply drawn on sand also, or with rangoli. So all such forms of the Lord are always decorated with garlands. And which garlands? Krishna likes lotus flowers. And there should be soothing atmosphere in the place of worship so that it can attract the burning attention of the non-devotees who are engaged in material wranglings. So those who are visiting temple, they are not idolaters. Some people say this. Actually, the great acharyas established temples in all places to favor the less intelligent. So we should never pose that we have transcended the stage of temple worship. But practically we are Shudras. We should begin to see Lord. And that explanation is given how we have to see first the lotus feet, then the thighs, then the waist, then the chest, then the arms, and then the face. Never look at the face directly in the temple. But Srimati Kunti Maharani is an exception in this verse which we see here. Because she was related, she was aunt of Lord. If she had looked at the feet first, he may not have found it good. He might have considered it shameful. And so she starts looking from waist, Namo Paṅkaja Nabhaya, and then the face, and then she comes to the lotus feet. But still, the cycle is completed. And that is why we have to, whenever we see Krishna in any of the forms, like right now behind me, you can see our Radha Gopinath. Unfortunately, you are not able to see the feet of Krishna Gopinath ji right now. But we'll start with the thighs, then the stomach, the waist, then the chest, then the arms, and then the face of the Lord. That's how you take darshan. Whenever you see any Vigraha Swarup of Krishna, Krishna is always protective. Devakī, who is mother of Krishna, she was sister of the king Kaṁsa, but still put into prison just because there was a prophecy that he will be killed by the eighth child of Devakī. And he killed all the children before Krishna. But Krishna was saved because he was transferred to house of Nanda Maharaj. Now, Kunti Devi, if you see, so many dangers had fallen to her and the Pandavas. And every time they were saved. So Prabhupada says that Kunti Devi has been shown more favor because all her children were saved. While for Devakī, none of her children were saved. And this was done because Devakī had Vasudeva with him. While Kunti Devi was a widow, there was no one else to help except Krishna. So Krishna endows more favor to devotee who is in greater danger. In fact, he himself puts devotees in dangers most of the time so that we reach a condition of helplessness and we become more attached to Krishna. The more the attachment, the more the success for the devotee. Even when we see the Vastraharan Leela, wherein we saw that Draupadi tries to protect her modesty by catching her sari. But the moment she knows that now nothing can help, her strength is less, she simply raises her hand and prays to Krishna and she is saved. That is Krishna. You have to always remember Krishna because he is present everywhere. In fact, Krishna describes himself in Bhagavad Gita, Rasoham Apsu Kaunteya. I am the taste of liquid. So whenever we see any liquid or any water, we should remember Krishna. In fact, Prabhupada says in his lecture that we should request even the drunkards, if you will kindly remember when drinking wine, that this nice taste belongs to Krishna, we at least start with this remembrance. One day you will come out a saintly person, Krishna conscious. So nice, practical. Krishna is available in any circumstance if you want to catch him. That's all. Tesham satatu yuktanam bhajatam pritipurvakam. If one is actually very serious to search out Krishna, Krishna is everywhere. Andantarastha paramanucha antarastha govindamadi purusham shamam bhajami. He is within the universe. Not only there, he is within our heart. He is within even the atoms. It is not difficult to find him. You must only know the process, how to find him. And the process is very simple. The process which Srila Prabhupada has created and distributed under the order of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to everyone. The process is chant Hare Krishna. Read Bhagavad. Prabhupada says, pronounce the verses very nicely. And therefore in the classes, we are repeating the verses. You hear the records and try to repeat. Simply by chanting the mantra, you will be purified. This is what Prabhupada says in the lecture which he took on this particular shloka number 22 in Los Angeles. Even if you don't understand a single word of it, simply if you chant, the vibration has got such power. Shranvatam Swakatha Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana. If you simply chant and vibrate the verse, these verses, these shlokas, it is Punya Shravana Kirtana. It will enlighten your Bhakti Lata Bija. माली है से बीज करे आरोपण श्रवण कीर्तन जले करी सेचन. And Krishna says, Bijoham sarvabhutanam, I am that seed. So we can appreciate Krishna. So if we simply think only one verse, as it is explained here, and the Paṅkaj, the lotus, in reference with Krishna's body. We can meditate the whole life how Kṛṣṇa is beautiful, how Kṛṣṇa is wise, how Krishna's creation is wonderful. This is meditation, thinking of Kṛṣṇa. Dhyanavasthita tadgatena manasa pashyanti yam yogena. So if we think of Kṛṣṇa always, satatam chintayantum, always thinking of him. That is what we have to develop very, very strongly. It is said, yatantascha drida vrataha, and endeavoring to advance in Krishna consciousness with vow, we have to remain purified. Because Krishna is purified. Param Brahma, Param Dhama, Pavitram Paramam Bhavan. You cannot approach Krishna impurified. So if you think of Krishna always, meditate upon Krishna, then we will be purified. Punya Shravana Kirtana. So that meditation can be possible by hearing and shraddha. Then thinking will automatically come. So Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam. So Smarana means remember. So if we chant and hear, then remembrance will automatically come. Pada Sevanam, then we'll be engaged in worshipping his lotus feet. Archanam, then we'll be engaged in Varchanam, that is temple worship. Then Vandanam, then we'll learn how to offer prayers. Dasyam, will be engaged as a servant. Sakhyam will become friend of Krishna. And then Atma Nivedanam, will surrender everything to Krishna. This is the process. So Prabhupada says each and every verse we should chant very, very concentratedly, perfectly, nicely meditate upon it. That is the process of progress, advancement in spiritual life. We should get all these verses by heart and offer prayer to the Lord. Vandanam. Everything is Krishna. We just have to understand and relate that thing with Krishna. And in this particular sloka that we have studied today, we are understanding it in relation to Paṅkaja, that is lotus flower. And then we see how Krishna will protect us every time. Because again, that is Krishna's promise to us. So whatever we get in touch with in our life now, from this moment onwards, let us try to relate it with Krishna. And as Prabhupada ji has ordered us in this particular lecture, please start learning these shlokas. Whether we understand the shlokas or not, irrespective of that, please recite the shlokas. We may go wrong, but when we hear how Mataji is reciting and try to repeat as it is, then we will understand the meanings as well. And that is the essence of this Bhagavatam, the whole classes. So let us follow whatever Prabhupada ji has said and implement it in our lives and be happy. Chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.